Well, I gotta say, Washington Post actually did some somewhat decent reporting. Um, Basically, some guy harassed a guy in a diner for wearing a MAGA hat. And instead of, talking about how the guy was such a racist and the guy who harassed him was a hero and whatnot, Washington Post actually kind of does an article portraying him as, someone getting triggered from TDS and getting a lot of backlash on Twitter for it. So let's go ahead and read this. After confronting a diner in a MAGA hat, customer gets tossed from Hill Country Barbecue. A public relations contractor who previously worked for the DNC said that he was kicked out of Hill Country Barbecue Market after he confronted a diner wearing a Make America Great Again hat on the 4th of July. How dare you? Around 8:30 p.m., after President Trump had given his speech at the Lincoln Memorial as part of his Salute to America program, but before the nighttime fireworks display, TJ Helmstetter headed to the Hill Country, a Penn Quarter restaurant that has been one of his favorite stops. In a text message interview Friday, Helmstetter said that he, his partner, and 3 other people found the place packed when they had arrived. We had just walked in when I saw the guy sitting by the bar with the MAGA hat, Helmstetter wrote. I said, "Hey, are you from D.C.?" The man said no, and Helmstetter said he responded, "We don't tolerate racism in this city." The comment, according to Helmstetter, prompted the MAGA cat wearer's companion to get up and jab her fingers into his chest. Oh, I'm sure that hurt this pathetic little soy boy so much, getting hit by a woman. I'm sure I said more things then. Don't remember what Helmstetter texted. Did he curse at the woman? I'm from New Jersey. I'm sure I did. I might have said, "Get your effing hands off of me," or something like that, he texted. That's when a Hill Country manager told Helmstetter, but not the target of his ire, to leave. Wow, shocking. He didn't kick the guy out for wearing a Trump hat. Shocking. On Twitter, Helmstetter said that the Hill Country chose to protect the Nazis' right, but not mine. Yeah. He wore the MAGA hat, immediate Nazi. The Nazis' right, but not mine, to dine at the restaurant. Helmstetter then walked out and called a Hill Country manager who supported his staff's decision to boot him. Wow. In the cold accounting of Twitter, Helmstetter's comment was getting quote-unquote ratioed. Wow, they even admit to him being ratioed. I like this article. Meaning his tweet had received more negative replies than likes. By Friday afternoon, before Helmstetter made his account private, his tweet had garnered nearly 2,300 likes compared with the nearly 5,000 comments, many of them negative. Critics said Hill Country made the right call. I agree. They considered Helmstetter the aggressor and the intolerant one. Right, because it's not the guy who just sat there trying to celebrate the 4th of July wearing a hat that says "Make America Great Again." No, it's the triggered soy boy cuck who gets in his face and calls him a Nazi. Thank God. And then here we have some tweets. I used to live around the corner from Hill Country and knew the owner. Have no idea what his politics are, but I do know that he probably wouldn't tolerate someone harassing people in his restaurant. The way you did. Or, he's probably like any other person who owns a business. They don't want people harassing their paying customers for no reason, especially when it's something as fucking trivial as a hat you're wearing. You didn't stand up to a Nazi. You harassed a guy for wearing a hat you don't like and called him a Nazi because you don't agree with because he doesn't agree with your politics. You threw a hissy fit, made a scene, and got asked to leave as a result. And now you put your Twitter on private. The city belongs to everyone in the United States. This is the transient city. It belongs to the nation. So yes, you may disagree with our visitors, but they have just as much of a right to be here as you. Lee Morgan, chief of staff for Hill Country Hospitality, emailed to say managers worked fast to de-escalate the situation. Last night, our management team overheard a very loud verbal altercation in our bar area, Morgan emailed. When 2 of our managers approached the area, they observed one of our guests being hostile towards another group of guests. Our team was simply trying to prevent a physical altercation, as they are trained to do, and asked the guests yelling at the group to leave the restaurant immediately. There was nothing more to it from our team's perspective, and the incident was handled appropriately to ensure guest safety. Wow, someone actually used fucking logic in the post-2016 Trump era. Someone actually didn't think with their emotions and actually used logic. Such confrontations have been common for DC restaurateurs who have had to navigate the choppy political waters of Washington during the Trump era. In the recent past, protesters have targeted members of Trump's cabinet or inner circle, such as then Homeland Security Secretary Christian Nielsen, who was heckled at a Mexican restaurant, and lawmakers such as Senator Ted Cruz, a member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, whose dinner at Philo was interrupted during the height of the Supreme Court confirmation hearings for then nominee Brett M. Kavanaugh. Yeah, we all remember that. The restaurants can quickly become targets themselves after such protests, even though they are merely the arenas in which the protest takes place. Their Yelp pages get attacked, their phone lines get tied up, the owners may even receive death threats. Hill Country, by contrast, has been mostly lauded online for its efforts to cool down a heated confrontation between patrons, not an organized protest of a Trump appointee or a member of Congress. Wow, good business move. Instead of being a, triggered soy boy cuck and, kicking a guy out for wearing a hat and then pissing a bunch of people off on Twitter who are going to give you shitty one-star reviews, you actually took the high road and used logic. Wow. Someone in 2019 post-Trump election actually using logic and saying, hey, you're harassing a guy for wearing a hat that you disagree with. You are the definition of a bigot. You are a literal bigot. In fact, here's the definition of a bigot. A person who is intolerant towards those holding different opinions. You are the bigot. You are the Nazi. Helmstetter texted that he felt compelled to confront the MAGA hat-wearing diner. He added that progressives and any concerned person who thinks that we shouldn't cage brown children in America concentration camps should respond vociferously to these people at every opportunity. Okay, so if you're wearing a MAGA hat, you immediately just, believe in locking brown people up in cages. Yeah, that's fucking bullshit. That's TDS, brought to you by the mainstream liberal media. But these people often responded vociferously. Helmstetter's Twitter feed and private messages inbox were flooded with comments, much of it questioning his manhood and recommending that he get therapy. I mean, let's be real, man. You need to act like a fucking man, okay? You're not acting like a man when you get so fucking triggered by someone's hat that you have to have a fucking meltdown and get all emotional, and then you start calling security. Why did you kick me out? Why? I'm just fighting Nazis. No, you're LARPing. You're LARPing. You're not fighting Nazis. You think you're fighting Nazis because the media told you, but you're going out in public and making an ass out of yourself because you're triggered and intolerant of someone else's opinion. Therefore, they're a fucking Nazi. Some even suggested that he was lucky to come out alive after confronting a Trump supporter in a barbecue joint. The blowback comes so fast and furious that Helmstetter decided to make his Twitter account private. He's now deciding whether he will go back to Hill Country, a business that he has supported since even before owner Mark Glosserman opened the DC location in 2011. But Helmstetter isn't yet tired of Hill Country's barbecue. He's burned out on politics in Washington. After working for the DNC and the Progressive Change Campaign Committee, Helmstetter said he is starting a new business, a flower design studio. Well, it sounds about right for you. Anyway, I gotta say, I'm kind of happy that Washington Post didn't just, side with this soy boy cuck and, talk about how this restaurant is, catering to Nazis and yada, yada, yada. They basically just said, yeah, this guy was acting like a jackass. He got called out for it on Twitter. People called him a bigot, and then he ended up setting his account to private. So that's actually, some good reporting from the Washington Post. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will have more soon, real soon.